Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a solo trip in Los Padres National Forest, and I'm finally doing the Chorro Grande Trail. Alright, so I already hiked about a quarter mile. There was a couple that showed up right when I was hitting the trail, so they said they were going all the way up to Reyes Peak, and that's pretty cool. I mean, that's like almost hiking up to Half Dome from Yosemite Valley as far as elevation gain goes. So as you can see, we have snow, and that's because we just had a huge storm that passed through California, and there's a ton of snow in Yosemite right now too. We got like 3 feet of snow in Yosemite. I was actually supposed to go to my brother's house today, and we were supposed to go to Yosemite on Friday, but with all this stuff going on in the world right now, the Bay Area is in lockdown pretty much, and I didn't feel like it was a good idea to be going to my brother's house. Anyway, I'm blown away at the amount of snow we have up here right now. I wasn't expecting this much. And this is also technically a winter trip still. A winter and spring trip, because today is the last day of winter and tomorrow is the first day of spring. It's absolutely stunning up here right now. And that's where I'm headed, up into those snowy hills. Alright, so I literally decided to go on this trip yesterday. So this is a very last minute thing. I saw on the Caltrans Twitter that a bunch of snow got dropped in Los Padres and they had to shut down to 33. And they were showing, a bunch of pictures and videos and stuff. And it looked like there was quite a bit of snow up here. So I was thinking, it would be a great time to go right now while there's still snow. And I'm glad I came out here now. Looks like there's going to be plenty of snow when I get to camp at 6,400 feet. So I guess this is kind of a consolation for canceling the Yosemite trip. But we're going to try to reschedule it as soon as all this stuff going on in the world blows over. So right now my pack is about 25 pounds. I am carrying extra water and a lot of unnecessary things. So I could easily drop the weight. But I just wanted to be prepared and have plenty of food on this trip. Anyway, I got to climb up about 2,400 feet today to get to camp, so I'm going to concentrate on the trail. Hey, first signs of snow on the trail. Although it's very muddy in some parts of this trail. The mud here is pretty ridiculous. But I was kind of expecting it because of all the rain and snow. Alright, it looks like I made it to Oak Camp. I think this is 1.7 miles in, but I want more snow, so I'm going to climb up to 6,400 feet and camp there. Alright, here's another fire pit as you walk further in, and there might be more stuff back there, but this is a pretty nice area. Maybe one day I'll actually stay here. Alright, back to the trail. It starts getting really steep after this point. I think we're only at 4,300 feet right now. Alright, the couple that were going up to Reyes Peak, they turned back and they're headed home, I guess. There's just too much snow for them, and I guess their shoes weren't up to the task. It kind of has me worried a little bit, but I'm going to try to push on. Alright, the trail is mostly covered in snow at this point. It's probably going to get difficult to stay on the trail, which is what I'm worried about. Let's see if we can do this. Alright, this is pretty crazy. It's turning into a full-on snow trip now. Probably about 4 days ago, none of this was here. A lot of uphill. It's like a winter wonderland out here. I probably could have brought my snowshoes. Alright, I was looking at these footprints, and I think this is someone else. This isn't the couple that just went back down. So I guess someone was out here yesterday. It just keeps on going up. Whoa, the snow's pretty slippery too. Okay, the footprints end right here. That's not good. Well, I guess I got to keep going. Okay, it's about 2:40 right now, and according to my phone, I'm at about 5,760 feet. Maybe about another 600 or 700 feet to go. So I'm getting there. Huh. These look like some sort of animal prints. Not sure what it is. I'm not an expert at all at this stuff. Alright, it's almost 3:30 and I'm at 6,150 feet. So only a couple more 100 feet to go. I think the campsite is 6,400 feet. So we're almost there. Okay, I kind of lost the trail. There's a lot of fallen trees here, but according to my map, the campground should be that way. Alright, I think this is the trail. That sucked back there because there's just fallen trees everywhere and I was pretty much climbing over them. But we're past that. And hopefully the campground should be just ahead. Alright, I just walked a little bit further and it's leveling off. And this looks familiar because someone actually did a street view of this trail. And I seem to remember these rocks. So I'm going to search around for a fire pit. Yep, I was right. Here's one of those stoves like on the last Los Padres trip I did to Maple Camp. Check out these icicles. Man, that's wild. That's like a weapon. Whoa. Look at that. Well, I broke most of them. Alright, I'm trying to look for a campsite, but I can't really camp underneath these trees because they're dropping chunks of ice, and it's not really safe. Alright, I'm just going to camp next to this stove because it's pretty clear above it, so I think I'm safe. Alright, I finally got the pack off for the first time today. It's right there behind me. And it's probably almost 4 o'clock now. When I first got to that stove box over there, it was about 3:45, and I left probably at like noon, so that's pretty good time, I think. So I went up about 2,400 feet today, 4.3 miles. I think I did pretty good. But right now I'm freezing. It's really cold right now, so I got to get my jacket on and get some food going. Alright, I got the jacket on now. I've just been standing here eating snacks, but I'm gonna stamp out the snow where my tent's gonna be. And I got a new tent, and I also got some other new gear that I want to show you guys. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so here's my new tent. It's a Nature Hike Cloud Up 2 ultralight 2-person tent. It's a freestanding tent and it's double walled. So I bought this tent just for snowy environments like this because I had problems before with the tent stakes coming out on the non-freestanding tents and the structural integrity of the tent failing, and also condensation issues with condensation getting onto my quilt. So hopefully this will alleviate both of those problems. I'm really liking this tent so far. I set it up in the backyard and it's really roomy compared to my other one. And I tested it out in the rain and it seems to be fully waterproof. So this is the ultralight version of the Cloud Up 2, which is relatively new still. The inner, the fly, and the poles only weigh like 910 grams. And my total tent system with my polycro footprint, the stakes, the guy lines, is about 2.36 pounds. Anyway, let me get the fly on and stake it down. Alright, the tent is set up completely, and there it is with the fly on. I'm going to try to do a 360 here. It is very snowy, so I'm post holing right now. There's the other side. And I got it set up pretty good. It was a pain in the butt getting the stakes in the snow. You know, setting up a tent in snow is always tricky business. And there is the back of the tent. Okay, I haven't even looked inside yet, so let's check it out. Hopefully the stakes don't pop out. Alright, not bad. I can tell by this crease running through the middle diagonally that it's not set up right. But, what are you going to do? I know it's kind of hard to see, but I sewed on a guy out point right there and right there, and I have it attached to the stake that's holding the fly out, so that gives it a lot more room. I don't know why they didn't add that to the tent when they made it, but that makes a huge difference. As you can see, that looks a lot better with those guy out points. Okay, just a few more things about the tent. The fly is made out of 10D sil nylon, so it's pretty thin stuff, but it seems to work from my testing in the rain. And the floor of the inner is 15D sil nylon. Okay, it's almost 5:15 right now, and I'm going to move all my gear into the tent and get some food going. It is getting pretty windy, and I don't like that. I never actually tested my tent out in the wind, so I hope it holds up. Alright, it's 5:45 and I'm hunkered down in my tent because it's actually pretty breezy outside and it's really cold. I've just been setting up my sleep system. I took off my shoes and changed my socks because they were soaking wet. So I have a nice dry pair on right now. Also my pants, the bottom part of my pants are completely soaked, so that's going to be an issue. So I bought a new sleeping pad. It's the Thermarest Neo Air X-Therm Max, and I got a pretty good deal on it, but this is going to really help me stay a lot warmer when I'm camping on the snow. So the Max means that the sleeping pad has a rectangular shape to it instead of a mummy shape. It adds 2 ounces, so it's 17 ounces total, but it's not a huge deal. Also, I got this sil nylon poncho tarp. This is my rain protection. I know it's all bundled up right now, but I'll demonstrate this tomorrow. It's actually pretty cool. It weighs about 7 ounces, and I guess in a pinch you can use it as an emergency tarp. And I also bought this Night Eyes micro LED lantern. It runs off 2 CR2032 batteries, and it weighs less than an ounce. So I'm going to attach it right now. There we go. Simple as that. It's not very bright, but it provides just enough illumination when it's completely dark. Alright, it's a little after 6 o'clock right now. I'm finally going to get some food started. What's crazy is I think it's already well below freezing and it's not even dark yet. According to the forecast, I was expecting somewhere in the low 20s tonight, but who knows, it could get down into the teens. Alright, it's so cold that my phone died, so I'm using my other camera now, but I'm going to get food started. So here is my bear canister. Alright, so here's the inside of my bear canister. I've got pepperoni right here. I have repackaged Mountain House Italian pepper steak, which I'll be having tonight. I've got potatoes, a tube of peanut butter, which I put the peanut butter in there myself. Got some hot chocolate, some more snacks, 2 tortillas, a tuna packet right here, a Spam packet. What else do I got? Oh, I got a bunch of peanuts at the bottom there. And repackaged Mountain House biscuits and gravy right here. So I got more food than I'm gonna eat, so I'm good on that. Alright, let me get the stove going. Gotta make sure I'm not gonna melt my tent. So I'm boiling water right now for my Italian pepper steak meal. And I've got a bag right here that I'm going to reuse. I actually never used this bag for anything, I just repackaged the biscuits and gravy. Alright, I got my Gerber dime right here. It weighs a little over 2 ounces, I think. It's not the lightest multi-tool, but it does have pliers. I wonder how much longer my camera's gonna run. It's like super cold. I know I said it's cold like a million times already, but it's cold. Okay, got my little scissors. I'm not even sure how this video is going to turn out. Alright, that worked. Alright, dump into bag. Without getting it all over my quilt. Okay, ready for water. Okay, I just need to find my spoon. Oh, it's in my bag here. You know, it's so much nicer having some room in your tent. I mean, the last snow trip with my one-person tent, that was miserable when I was hunkered down inside. There was just no room to do anything. Okay, I think we're boiling, so... yeah, I gotta turn it off. Okay. Okay. And now we'll let it sit for 10 minutes. To be honest, I may have underestimated the coldness of this trip. I think it's going to get a lot colder than I expected. Anyway, I still got the Mountain House warming up there, and I think I'm going to do hot chocolate right now. Alright, I'm just getting the water ready for the hot chocolate. But I fully expected to have a campfire on this trip. I got the campfire permit already, but there's not going to be a campfire because everything's like covered in snow. Like, I didn't even expect this much snow at all. I expected maybe just like a sprinkling like on the last trip. Alright, the Italian pepper steak and the hot chocolate is ready. It's time to eat. Unfortunately, the Italian pepper steak is a little watery, but it'll still be good. Oh yeah. That's what I need. And now the hot chocolate. Ooh, yeah. It's getting windy. It's gonna be a cold night. Alright, it's starting to get dark and I'm just in my quilt and my baby sack because it's really cold. Let me turn on this light. I'll just leave that on. Also, I'm having a problem with the ground not being level. It's not level in both directions, and I'm sliding into this corner, and it sucks. Okay, I don't know what time it is because my phone died earlier and it reset the time. But if I had to guess, it would probably be like 7:30, maybe almost 8 o'clock. Anyway, I had to get out of the tent to pee, and it's really cold out here. But yeah, I'm just gonna hunker down in the tent and try to stay warm. Okay, there's the inside of the tent with all my stuff in it. I tried to put the sleeping pad directly in the middle so I don't slide around as much. Seems to be working somewhat. I like that little light. It provides just enough light to see around you, but not to blind you. Alright, it's about 9:30 right now, and I've just been hanging out in the tent, just eating snacks and listening to music and stuff. And the reason I know it's 9:30 is because I can actually get 1 bar of signal at this campsite, but it's not enough to actually do anything. But it was enough for me to update the time on my phone. Anyway, I'm kind of bored right now. It's still really windy outside. Well, it's kind of weird because I can hear like constant wind above me, but only some of that wind is actually hitting the tent. But I'm just sitting here trying to stay warm. It's in the low 20s right now. Last time I checked it was 23 degrees, and it'll probably drop some more tonight. Anyway, I charged up my phone some, and it's at 80% now. But it really depends on the temperature of the phone. If it's cold, then you can't rely on that percentage. Anyway, I'm probably going to eat some Spam soon, and just hang out more until I get tired. Alright, it's finally morning time. It's about 7 o'clock right now, and it's the first day of spring. So I actually slept pretty warm last night. From about 8 o'clock last night, I actually was feeling really good, and just nice and toasty warm for the rest of the night. And you may have noticed the lack of noise. The wind completely died off like after midnight, and it was like dead silent the whole night, and it's still dead silent. Anyway, it's really cold. My hands are freezing just holding this camera. When I woke up, the thermometer said it was 15 degrees, but it was also like covered in ice that fell off the trees. So after I brushed off the ice, it went up to like 20 degrees. So let me look at it right now. Yeah, right now it's below 20, like maybe 18. So maybe it was 15 degrees. I don't know, if it really got down to 15 degrees, this may be my coldest trip ever. Alright, there's my tent. And it's all frosted up. Alright, let's check out how frozen my stuff is. Oh, my socks are frozen solid. I can bend them a little bit, but they're... Oh man, they're like stuck together. Yeah, that's hard. And my shoes, yeah, they're frozen too. That's gonna be tough getting those back on. Okay, let me check my water. Oh wow, my water is almost frozen solid. You see that? Wow. And this one's solid. Alright, looks like the thermometer has stabilized at around 18 degrees. Alright, my water's partially frozen, but I've got enough liquid in this one to work with. So I've got to get my pot and warm up some water. Alright, for breakfast I'm going to have these Mountain House biscuits and gravy. So let me get my water going. Actually, let me get my stove going first. The stove's still working in this cold weather. Alright, let me pour this frozen water in there. I need 1 cup. Yeah, it's just ice left in here. Alright, the water is boiling. I'm just going to pour it directly into this bag. Where's my spoon? This is a bit awkward with this bag. This bag isn't big enough. Alright, I've got this little clip. I'm going to try to clip it shut. There's some leftover hot water in this pot, so I'm going to drink it. Alright, let's try out these biscuits and gravy. Oh man, that's really thick. I didn't put enough water, but that may be a good thing. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah. That's perfect. That's really good. So I already mentioned that I was supposed to go to Yosemite with my brother this weekend, but due to the lockdown and everything, we just canceled it. So we were going to go up Yosemite Falls, go over to Snow Creek, and go down Snow Creek, and then go back to the Yosemite Falls trailhead. So it would be a 3-day loop. But given the conditions of this trail, it would probably be much worse going up Yosemite Falls. So yeah, this has been a pretty good trip. So I was just thinking about my car parked on the side of the highway down there. Hopefully it's okay. So on the last Yosemite trip we did, someone actually hit my car when it was parked in front of my brother's house. It wasn't anything major. It ended up being my brother's neighbor's friend. But my brother's not really good friends with that particular neighbor. So the insurance claim just dragged on for so long, and it was just a big ordeal. But it eventually went through. Alright, these biscuits and gravy are done. Anyway, I'm going to try to warm up some of my water so I have, some walking water that's not frozen. And I'm going to start packing up. It's actually a little bit cloudy today. The sun keeps coming and going. So right now you can see a little bit of sun. Alright, I dumped all the frozen water out of my bottles and I'm just heating it up. Alright, it's time to pack up. Are you kidding me? The little top of this valve just snapped off. Oh well, it's just a really cheap pillow anyway. Bottom of my foot box is frozen because my feet were wet and the bottom of my pants. Yeah, my quilt had quite a bit of moisture on it from condensation because I was putting my head inside my bivy sack, and that was causing quite a bit of condensation. So this is like the inflation bag for the sleeping pad. And I was using this to store my quilt in, and it works pretty well for that. Alright, there you go. Alright, I almost got everything out of my tent, but I was just looking at the snow right here, and you can tell how fresh it still is. I mean, that is still fresh powder. Alright, it's 9 o'clock, and everything is out of the tent. So I'm going to start packing up the tent now. There's still a lot of frozen ice and condensation on this fly, but since this is just an overnight trip and I'm headed back to the car anyway, I'm just going to pack it up. Alright, rain fly removed. That was a pain in the butt because I had to get all the stakes out of the frozen snow. Oh, and here's the guy out points I was talking about yesterday that I sewed on. This makes a huge difference. You can see right there when I pull it out. It just stretches that inner and makes so much more room. Alright, pretty much everything's packed away. I still got to get my frozen shoes on, and my socks here are still frozen solid. You can hear that. Alright, that was a pain in the butt. I spent probably almost half an hour trying to get these frozen shoes on, and they're still frozen. But at least I got them on now. Everything's packed up and clean. I have my poncho tarp sitting right there because I'm about to demonstrate it. Alright, here's the poncho tarp. This particular brand is Flames Creed. Right there, Flames Creed. I know the color is ugly, but I got it for pretty cheap. It was $18 or so. So you can use this as a tarp. I haven't had much luck with it, so I'm just going to use it as a poncho. Anyway, let me show you how it works. You just put it on and it covers your pack and everything. Let me take this off. So it has a belt to keep it all secure. Alright, there it is. It probably looks kind of goofy, but it should provide rain protection. And it only weighs 7 ounces. So there you have it. Alright, it's about 10 o'clock. I've got the pack on and I'm about to head back to the car. It's still really cold. It's below freezing still. And hopefully it doesn't rain. But it should take about 3 hours to get back to the car, maybe a little less. So we'll see. Alright, finally some sun. I've only been hiking for about 15 minutes. The clouds are not looking too great though. I really hope they don't close down the highway. You can see how cloudy it is out there. In fact, I can see the highway all the way down there. It's almost easier to make new post holes than just try to step in the old ones. Okay, just like that, I'm back at Oak Camp. It's about 11:40. I've just been concentrating on hiking because the sky is full of dark clouds right now. So instead of dealing with snow, now I gotta deal with slippery mud for the next 1.7 miles. Oh crap, it's starting to snow. I might be stranded out here. Alright, made it back to the car. It's still there. Alright, it's about 12:20. So I got out of here in a little over 2 hours, which is pretty good. I still see cars driving along the highway, so I think it's still open. It only snowed for just a very short time, so I don't think that was enough to shut down the highway. Anyway, this was an awesome trip. The snow up there was just spectacular, and I'm really glad I decided to come here. Before this recent storm came through, we had like no precipitation for the last month and a half. So they're calling this Miracle March. Alright, I'm pretty hungry, so I'm going to head to Wendy's. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.